Hi there, I'm Mrs. Wagner. Welcome to the first in a series of lessons on foundational skills for understanding pre-algebra. Today you will learn a way to identify positive and negative integers within a variety of mathematical problems with one easy step. Did I hear that all-important question, why? Well, as you enter the world of pre-algebra, I find that students become easily confused. Learning pre-algebra can be like trying to cross over into another world, but you can't get through. Some people have no problem. They can jump right in and see the magical world of integers and variables, and it all makes sense to them. Others, let's call them muggles, get stuck and have to try a lot more. Let's take a look at what I mean by confusing. For example, you have been taught that you can't subtract 7 from 5 because you don't have enough. You have to subtract 5 from 7. But in pre-algebra, you are supposed to subtract 7 from 5. Also, letters usually stand for sounds that make up words and stories. You get the idea. But in algebra, letters, which are called variables, represent numbers, all kinds of numbers, and sometimes the variables are the answers. This causes students to become confused because pre-algebra problems always look different, and sometimes the problems are written backwards. More importantly, students do not think of integers in the way I'm going to show you. The skills you are about to learn will help you solve any problem, no matter how difficult it looks. And if you can master these skills, you will find pre-algebra makes sense and it's actually fun to do. Have I piqued your curiosity? Remember, today we are just identifying integers, not solving them. Are you ready to enter the magical world of pre-algebra? Let's illustrate with this. When you were born, your parents gave you a first and last name. I know you have a middle name too, but for the sake of illustration, let's just stick with first and last. So in the same way, when we see a number, we usually just think of their value name, like 3, 7, 100, but numbers also have two names or two parts to their names. All integers share one of these two names, positive or negative. So from now on, I want you to read each integer in terms of their, shall we say, first and last name, like this: positive 65, negative 8, negative 12, positive 4. You may be thinking, okay, Mrs. Wagner, what's the big deal? It's kind of obvious. Well, if it's so obvious, why do so many students not see this when solving problems? Are you absolutely sure if you know a number is positive or negative within a problem? Well, I have great news for you. You can always be sure with one easy step. The rule is, circle the integer with its sign. You will know the integer sign because whatever sign is in front of an integer belongs to it. And if there isn't a sign in front of an integer, it's always positive. So here we have a negative 7 and a positive 10, positive 5 and a negative 7. Pretty simple, right? I just looked at the integer and circled the sign that was in front of it. Let's practice. Remember, we are only identifying integers, not solving problems yet. For now, if I see this problem, I might circle and read it like this: positive 4, positive 2, and a positive 7. My negatives would be negative 3 and a negative 5. Let's look at this equation and read the integers with their sign. By the way, I have one piece of advice for you. If you want to learn and understand math quicker than you are right now, start saying what you are doing out loud. I know it's a little weird if you're in class, but just mumble it under your breath. Trust me, it works. So say it out loud with me. I see a negative 27, a positive W, and a negative 14. Are you getting the hang of this? Let's try this. Say it with me. Positive 3, positive 4x. Did you include the x? And negative 2. Okay, let's do one more. Positive m, positive 2, negative 5, positive y, positive mx, and positive b. Let's review. Before working pre-algebra problems, remember every integer has two parts. You must recognize whether it is positive or negative by circling the integer with its sign. When you do this, you are adding another layer of meaning to help you understand how to solve a problem, which we will do next time. In the meantime, don't ignore this simple step until it becomes automatic in your thinking. If you do this step, you will be an elite group of students who never confuse their positives and negatives. Seriously, this is the most common mistake students make when solving pre-algebra problems. Now that you understand how signs belong to an integer, our next lesson will be on learning integer rules. Let's end with a math thought for the day. The essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple. Did that happen for you today? See you next time.